Hey, welcome back to MVP Hot Wheels. This is Diesel Mac, and I've been working on putting pictures or updating pictures of crack-ups. Also adding variations onto the website that I didn't have on there. A bunch of the Mexico or RMAT variations are on there now. As many as I could find as far as variations and information that was available to me. So all those variations, like I said, are on MVPHotWheels.com now. I just got done taking pictures of these black ones here, the Sport Crasher, and I figured I would just go ahead and make a quick video. This one alerted me to some different base variations, and so I figured I'd go into that. Plus, I was going to show this one here where it looks like it has a gold window, but I believe that is something else. So let's go ahead and kind of dive into this. So obviously the Sport Crasher, these came out in 83, 84 time frame. You can see here, this first one here, let's see, this is the Hong Kong version. So you can kind of see, obviously Hong Kong right there. All these are really close, and the tempo, even the France piece is pretty close, which is pretty cool. Usually there's a difference in the tempo, just a little bit. This does smash in the front, so these hit, boom, now it's been crashed. And then you can, like I said, reset it so that it's back to normal. Got Super X there on the bottom there, black wall wheels, and there's that gray window. I haven't seen any differences in the bases for the Hong Kong one. They always seem to have that name, the country of origin, right there in the center of the vehicle, whereas the Malaysia base ones have it moved. So here it is closer to the passenger side. You got Hot Wheels over here towards the driver's side. Everything else is pretty much the same. Even the tempo is pretty close. I don't see any difference in that tempo. Gray windows and engine, of course. So that Malaysia has been moved. It's not a bar Malaysia. So they've created a new molding for this and put Malaysia on there. And then here is another Malaysia. This one up here at the top, closer to the passenger or the driver's side. So they've moved that around again, not on a bar, and so they made another mold specifically for this base. So that's the third base variation. And then of course we have the France one, which is just like the Hong Kong one, where Hong Kong or France is right there in the center. We've got Hot Wheels. I think those are on the same side. Yep. So Hot Wheels and everything else is pretty much the same, just Hong Kong and France. And again, a little bit, not too much difference on that tempo there. So I know that when I was doing these, it seems like the Hong Kong's the easiest one to find. These two Malaysia are fairly tough. And then the France one, I believe, is even easier than the Malaysia base for whatever reason, despite there being two different variations of that Malaysia base. They just don't come up very often, or at least not in very good condition. Now this one, this is also a France base, and it looks like it has gold windows and even the engine a little bit. But if you look closely, look at the base of those little engine pipes down there. They are gray. I believe this was in like a smoker's home, and it turned it kind of a yellowish gray. So it's been sitting in there for quite a while. It does have kid paint also, so there's some kid paint on there. But if you look kind of, that's where I noticed it originally. It was like right at that base. So if we zoom in on this, let's see if we can get a little closer here. Now we can start see how the tips are gold, but the base is more of the gray color. And you can see even in the very edge up here on the far side of that window, see where it starts to turn from that goldy color to back to gray. That's where I believe this is just got some smokers smoke been exposed to it, and that's where the gold comes from. At some point somebody put somewhere, I don't remember where I read it or where I saw it, that a Mexico variation, which has a different tempo by the way, for this has a gold window. I've never seen it. The gold or the Mexico one that's black, I don't have that one here. I don't have that one at all actually. Is a gray window as well, and so that one I haven't seen any gold windows for this. So, but those are the four that I found. Now when I was looking at this one, Smashmobile. I don't know why they all have different names. I have the Malaysia base. I do have a Hong Kong one. That's back in the case already. But here's the Malaysia base, and I was going to take a picture of this one in this, I guess it's like German or Deutsch or something. But this is also Malaysia, but that Malaysia is on the opposite side. So it's at the top, whereas this one is at the bottom. So now I'll add this variation, take a picture of the package, and then looks like we'll be ripping a package on probably next Sunday. So there's also a Malaysia base for this particular casting that has a bar Malaysia right over the Hong Kong. So there's that as well. Kind of curious on that. There might even be a black one that way. I haven't found one. I haven't seen one. But there are certainly some of the other ones. I think the magenta one that I put in today, the Malaysia base was on a bar for that one. So some pretty cool information. If you're a base variation or just a variation junkie like I am, and you love the crack ups, there's a bunch of crack ups. There's a new Facebook group up for, I think it says like original crack up, something like that. So you can request to join that group. Terry's in there. Terry is kind of like the crack up king. He has everything. I kind of bounce information off of him because he's been doing this a lot longer for the crack up stuff than I have. I do have quite a few variations. I've put, I think, over 75 variations I know of in the website, but I don't have all those. So I still have quite a few missing. I still got more pictures to take and update and everything. So I pretty much have this casting done, and now I'll work on some of the other castings for it as well. I do have some of the 3-packs. So here's one of those. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out on that. So here's one of the 3-packs right there. You can see we've got the rear ender and the Basher 2. These are exclusive to this. Only Hong Kong. Then you get this cool green stamper for that. And then I have one other one here. I am missing one. So here is the Exploder and the Ringer. So get a look at those. Both exclusive to the 2-pack. This one has a blue stamper. I think there's 3 colors of stampers for the Crack Ups one. So we got some of, like, another, like I said, pack to kind of get. Got cool different international packaging. There's French packaging. There's other, you know, stuff that was sold in Canada as an international packaging. It was kind of separate from the French one, I think. So there's lots of different packagings available for these. Pretty cool to see if you wanted to put all these different things together in one set, which I think Terry has probably done. So but very cool set to, you know, track down all the variations. If you're just looking for the main variations, you can find most of these pretty easily that are in the you know, crack up set. There's some cool play sets as well, and even international play sets for it. And Mexico stuff, there's, you know, obviously some Mexico versions. Like I said, I think I got 14 of those on the website, 14 different Auramat crack ups. I have a couple of France pieces that I found. It's difficult to differentiate the Mexico from the France stuff sometimes. All of the France stuff, obviously, I won't even say all of it. Most of those have a Mexico or a France base, but all of the Mexico variations, almost all of them have a France base as well, country of origin on there. So they just borrowed the molding from France and, you know, put them together. The paint is always kind of the giveaway. So if it's got thicker paint, that's an indicator that it's probably a Mexico piece. So there's lots of different things out there, but just to be aware of it, like I said, I got a bunch of that on there, and you can kind of go look at that. I'm just trying to figure out how many different France pieces there are. I do have the France guide from Antho that shows there's 6 different ones, and I'd be curious, you know, those same 6, well, 5 of those 6 also carry over into the Auramat world, and so I wonder if there's a confusion because there's a France base on it, but they were assembled in Mexico, and maybe some of these might not exist. So I just want to track these down before I put all of that in there. I know this one here is definitely a France one. I've seen it in packages and stuff like that, but once you get to the Auramat and some of the other France packaging, some of these cars I've never seen in the package, and it's hard to tell. So I just want to make sure the info's good. If you've got information on that kind of stuff, you know, especially pictures of the cars with the right bases and the packaging and everything, I'd love to see it. So you can send those to MVPHWC@gmail. You can contact me on Facebook. I got the MVP Hot Wheels Facebook group up, or you can just put it out on the new Crack Ups Facebook group as well. Just ask to, you know, join, and then you can, you know, post your pictures of what you got, especially for the international stuff. So, but here you go. Here's the Sport Crasher, and the blue one is the Smash Mobile. I think this one had like 5 different names. Pretty crazy. I got these black ones. I took pictures of these earlier. These have like 10 different names. There's a lot of different names. I don't even know the names of these particular ones in black. But that's both bases there. Also Malaysian and Hong Kong. And I didn't see any base variations for the Malaysia stuff as for those as well. But if you have anything else, you know, if you have any questions related to the Crack Up stuff, throw them down in the comments. Love to see them. If you got a cool Crack Ups collection, right, you can show that on the Facebook group. You can on either one, mine, MVP, or the other Crack Up one. So, but I figured I'd throw this together real quick since I had them out and taking pictures, and kind of go over some of the stuff that I saw and what I've been doing some research on. So, but thanks for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.